Subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss an update from First Post.
Hi Michael, it's a pleasure having you with us.
Oh, thank you very much.
So I'm going to start off by asking you, is this your first time in India?
It is my first time in India, and it's been great so far. I think we've only been here 36 hours. Though.
Right. And before you came here, did you speak to anyone? Did anyone tell you to try a particular cuisine, eat a particular kind of food, visit a particular place?
Yeah, no, they basically said, drink bottled water, right? I remember that. Street food. Be aware of the street food.
Right.
Because if you go to any country and your body's not used to the certain bacteria, you're going to get sick. And I was like, okay, I don't want to get sick. But I really didn't hear too much about India. And then I swear, as soon as I came here, and you just get something that looks like a very flat bread, you put a sauce on it, you're like, meh, whatever. You eat it, and you're like, whoa, it was amazing. Yeah, so right now, like 3 days in a row, I just go downstairs, go here in the restaurant, and they said, what would you like to eat? I'm like, just give me whatever's good right now. Because, it's all good, really.
So you, of course, have impeccable comic timing. In your last couple of movies, it's really shown through, and you have the ability to make people just laugh off the bat, right? So was it kind of hard to shed that and go into the serious drama zone that Narcos is? Because you're a fun-loving guy in general. I've seen a bunch of your interviews, and, you're always out with a joke or impersonating certain gangsters or just,
Oh, yeah, exactly. Oh, you must have watched some late-night talk shows.
One, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No. I started off in drama, and Crash won the Oscar. I was $1 Million Baby, that won the Oscar and stuff. So I'm lucky enough to be in some good movies that have been recognized for stuff. So that's mainly what I do, and I've done about 4 or 5 comedies.
Yeah, which have done really well and kind of stuck.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Possibly.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Hopefully this one will stick.
So I was watching an interview you gave recently where you said that you spoke to Mika, who is, of course, your character's wife.
Yeah.
What was that conversation like? And tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, it's because I read the script and I was reading about Kiki. And basically, all the interviews that I read were people that were interviewing people that knew him, but nobody interviewed him directly. So and then the way that the script was written was that he's very focused, right? And I was like, some action movies are written like that where he's like, I'm like, but why? Like, why is he like that? You have to understand what makes a person like that. Does he want revenge? You know what I mean? Because when people want revenge, like if you see in India, like when their people are driving, they're like, and they start chasing each other. They want revenge. In those little freewheelers, they're like, those guys are crazy. By the way, they're like bumper car drivers. It's like, I don't know, whatever. They move like snakes. So anyway, for him, it was looking at injustice, and nobody was doing anything about it. There was police officers that'd be like, meh. And he would get mad at that, and he kept getting mad at the injustice, and something is obviously happening, right? And nobody's doing anything about it, and he's like, I'm going to do something about it. And that's sometimes what drives a person. And that's what drove him.
So Mika gave you an insight into that?
She said that he was, he couldn't live with injustice being done right in front of him, and he can also see the signs of an empire being built. And nobody was doing anything about it. He knew that some police were crooked and they were part of it. And then later on, some politicians, and then the government was in on it. And then the Americans were looking the other way, and then the Americans wanted to buy it, because there is no business without demand. And that's America. America just wants to buy
everything.
Everything. I don't know about everything, but I know they definitely want to buy drugs.
And have you spoken to her since then, to gauge her reaction on all this?
No, I'm eager. Her review is going to be the most important.
Right. I would believe so. Did you at all have any concern that Narcos would glorify drugs in the underworld? Because every time a season of Narcos comes out, there's obviously one side that is in love with what's happening and what they're seeing and so attracted to it, but there's also one side that there's a negative narrative that says maybe the show glorifies it. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, if it glorified it, it would just show all the good parts.
Right.
There is a fact of a poor person comes into money, they definitely spend it and have bad taste or whatever, but then they always get caught.
Right.
They always end up in jail. They always, you know, their families are shot down, their families are destroyed, their friends are killed. I don't think that's a very good life.
In another interview I was watching, you'd said that it wasn't such an easy call to take to sign on to Narcos because your son was really young at the time and you were like, I'm not entirely sure whether I want to come on board.
I never watched Narcos.
Okay.
I think it'd been out for a year, and my son was 6, and so we were watching like Pixar,
Right.
you know, Toy Story, that kind of stuff. So when they said Narcos, I'm like, oh wow, this is interesting.
Right.
And I haven't done television in a long time either.
Yeah.
But this isn't really television. It's more. It's like, I guess it's like quality streaming, quality limited series. You know,
Right.
where you could spend 3 times more time on a 1 hour, almost as much as a movie.
Yeah.
So when Eric Newman told me about the project, and then I watched 2 episodes, and I was like, I'm in.
I'm sold.
Yeah, because it was so good. Yeah, and then I binge watched the rest.
Much like the rest of us.
Yeah, hopefully.